to our virtual art opening. This is Suzanne Barr on Mercer Island, and I'd like to introduce Josiane, who is leading another exhibit over at our gallery. It's kind of a follow-up to a show that we had around this time last year. So, Josiane, would you mind introducing yourself and saying a few things about your company? And I have a few short questions after that.
Thanks for having me, Suzanne. It's a pleasure to exchange with you.
I know, in these wonderful times.
COVID-19. So I'm Josiane Faubert, and I'm the founder and managing partner of PICHA. PICHA is a marketplace. It's a place where we provide content, image content especially, for marketers, advertisers, anyone who's in need of an image, especially Afrocentric images. We started focusing on Africa, and we are now opening our doors to Afrocentric content. So Afrocentric meaning African American, African Caribbean, French African, anything rooted to Africa.
So it's expanding quickly.
Yes.
Through popularity.
Yes.
That's great. And what is your mission? I know that you started it for a kind of a specific reason. Was it you didn't see good representation of stock photography out there, that you saw a void that maybe you could fill in the market?
Yes, it started out of frustration. I couldn't find modern content. I couldn't find people like me. And I was tired of seeing safari, especially I had never seen safari animals, even though I was born and I had lived in Gabon. So I was like, okay, this is completely out of context. Like, it's not even, this is not my life. So there was a lot of safari, there was a lot of international development. So, you know, those images of, you know, beautiful children, with their underwear, smiling at the tourists. I just felt like, you know, there was a lot more to Africa than just those images. And I felt also that the advertisers there in Africa needed also a platform of contributors from the continent that was accessible to them. So yeah, it was a niche, and there was room for it, and then I did it, and here we are.
So it's been about 3 years, 4 years? It's been
about 3 years.
Yeah.
The goal is really I strongly believe that images change perception. So it's really about changing the narrative, changing perception that people have in Africa or about Africa. And with that, our trends and our themes are mostly modern. So we try to coach the photographers to focus on modern urban Africa. We talk to them and tell them, you know, what we're about, our mission, and they tend to agree, so which is nice to work with all of them.
Much more contemporary and up to speed with where we are in the world. And so tell us about this new collection. It's called Skin. And what is your process in finding the right artists for each show? And were there any major challenges along the way?
Yes, so it's a little bit different. So PICHA the main role of PICHA is to create content, so mainly stock image. And I wanted to do something fun and more challenging. And I started to have this annual exhibition. And when I started it, it was really to push our contributors to go, you know, above and beyond and, you know, be more creative. Stop doing just portraiture, but try to think about concept and use their brain and their creativity to come up with something different. So we started it, and it was meant to be once a year at the end of the year. So we the first two ones were done in Kenya and South Africa, and then I met you, and then we expanded.
Oh, happy day!
Yes. So last year we had a show at Susan's gallery about Afrofuturism, and this year it's about skin. So again, new concept, different vision, different interpretations with different contributors. Some of them are our contributors. Some of them are new photographers that we're actually working with for the first time.
So I know that Afrofuturism was quite a popular theme when we had exhibited last year. Can you tell us a little bit more how the theme of skin developed? Why skin?
We felt like it was a good time to talk about identity, because skin is really about identity. When you travel to Africa, you will see in some cities it will be very current to see very big billboards about bleaching product. The advertisement on bleaching product in Africa is big. Some countries are banning it, which is great.
Yeah.
Some countries they still continue. So there's a lot of issues with identity, and we wanted to reinforce again. It's about narrative, acceptance, who we are. We wanted to show that any skin is beautiful, any skin has a story, and we should all be proud of it. So that's really the idea behind it. So showing a beautiful narrative around who we are.
That's beautiful. I'm very excited to show what's come of that. Very good intention. And so it seems like there's been a big boom in the art industry around modern African art. Help us get a better sense of what countries are the hotspots of such creative expression. What can we expect? What's coming up?
I would say definitely Nigeria and South Africa. Because the market allows it, there's like people to buy art, so people will buy. So
they're supported.
Yes, they have people to support it. So the market really encourages it. So that's great. There's more and more exhibitions in these countries, but in some other countries, there's a lot going on at a smaller scale. But the big spots are definitely Nigeria and South Africa.
Oh, interesting. So tell us, I have a short list here. Tell us some of the countries that are being represented in this upcoming collection. What countries are participating? Where are the photographers?
So it's always difficult, right? Like some of them are from one country, living in one country, so you don't know, are they going to represent both or one?
That's true. I mean, they're representing themselves.
Yes.
It's just nice to see how internationally connected we all are, through photography and through art.
Yeah.
And it just adds a little layer of a little bit of a lens on, where they're coming from when they are, when they're basically framing their shots or what they're looking for. I don't know, might be an influential.
We have contributors from Ghana. I think Ghana, there's 2 or 3 of them. One Ghanaian in Canada, one Nigerian living in South Africa, one South African, and I think a couple of Kenyans. Yes.
And
so
Nigerian.
Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, Canada.
That's great. That's a nice collection.
Yes. Yeah.
And so are you starting to, in these call for artists, are you starting to see movements through the artistic world, whether it's photography or other mediums? And does it happen in more of a localized fashion, or is it something that's starting to just trend globally or sweep in certain areas? What artistic movements are you starting to see out there?
I, there's a lot of imaginative, conceptual slash Afrofuturistic content creations coming that I see a lot. A lot of mixed media photography and illustration coming together. So you can see that younger people are also embracing creativity and they're adding illustration on it. A lot of traditional photography, beautiful. Also, some people try to just stay on the traditional side, but a lot, the creativity, I would say there's a lot of Afro-futuristic elements to it. And multiculturality. So a lot of time mixing things that are coming from Western world to Africa or different countries in Africa. A lot of also going back to the roots. So with pattern, for example, special designs, ancient designs, reinterpreting them. So there's a lot of, I would say, mix and match and reapplying in a modern, creative way. Yeah.
That's a really nice way to put it. Personally, I turn to social media to get a sense of a reach of galleries and artists that I wouldn't physically be able to see firsthand. Sure. Are you seeing an influence with through social media, or as you know, as a global artist? Yeah,
a lot. There's it's funny enough, we were talking about that with my team this morning. There's a lot of there are many pages just dedicated. They don't create content, they just reshare content, pretty much.
True. That's
and
true.
Have like tons of followers. But they reshare like really artistic, creative, conceptual, beautiful content.
Sure.
Beautiful. And it's good because you just go to one place and then you can see, oh wow, this is beautiful. So it's really great. It's really great.
Curate the page well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's nice when you can just have bigger exposure, increase your surface area for the artists in that way.
You have to take the plane and go and find them.
Yeah, and you know, I think it's so fascinating, Josiane, that last year the show came about right around the gigantic success of Black Panther, and we were proudly exhibiting contemporary Afrofuturism as a theme, you know, for your call for photography. I find it very fascinating that skin is the theme in this moment while we're in this pandemic, and there is a social distancing, and you know, we're not able to be having this discussion in person right now. There's a distance. When I think of skin, you know, it's you're vulnerable, and it's about touch, it's about closeness, there's an intimacy there. And so I'm so appreciative again of your timing in unfortunate times, because I do think it's important to fill our social media with and our surround ourselves with positive expressions, and that this is a celebration of who we are and how interconnected we are, and how much more we have in common than anything else, and to celebrate in such beautiful ways. So anyway, I find the timing once again fascinating.
But it's a good way that you see it like that, because now that I think about it, yeah, the collection is really warm. So if you feel lonely, it's a great collection. The images are beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't wait for everyone to see it. It's gorgeous.
So here's the game plan. We are virtually opening up the SZ Gallery on Mercer Island, the Suzanne Czar Art and Architecture Gallery, through this video, and we're going to follow our little Q&A with some featured pieces and a few statements from a few of the photographers themselves. And then we will physically be presenting the pieces in the gallery. We're targeting June and July for the physical opening, but we are opening the opportunity to comment and ask questions, both to me or to more specifically Josiane or any of the photographers. And maybe that they can personally respond. If not, we're available to try and guide that discussion. But we'll kind of see where it goes in these next couple of months online, and then look forward to the physical opening.
The great thing is that in a physical exhibition here, like we wouldn't have the chance to meet with the photographers, but the bonus of having it digitally done is that you can interact. We're going to invite the photographers to come and join the page, and so if people want to interact with them and ask them questions, they will be able to do that.
You can meet the photographers, which is
exactly
incredible.
Yes,
and
you can give them a high five.
That's right. That's right, and congratulate them for their beautiful work. So thank you for joining me in this discussion. I'm so thrilled we were able to do this.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. They're always so appreciative of being able to exhibit in the United States. I think I said it last year, but I'm going to say it again. United States, especially Seattle, is so far away from them. Just knowing that some people here will be able to see their work means a lot to them. So, yes.
Well, we'll spread the good word. We'll absolutely spread the good word and hopefully create an interactive dialogue directly with them. That's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Josiane.
Hi, my name is Kat Grieker and I live in Cape Town, South Africa, and I photograph fashion, editorial and lifestyle. And apart from that, what I love photographing that I don't get to photograph enough of is food, so I'd love to do more of that in the future. And my inspiration in general comes from books that I read, friends that I talk to, being out in nature, other photographers definitely. And my inspiration for the photos for the skin exhibition, obviously with it being titled Skin, I thought, okay, so let's try do a nude thing. Also because I've never photographed nude models before. So I thought, okay, let's get me out of my comfort zone and try something a little bit different, which was slightly terrifying, but actually in the end, I loved it and the model enjoyed it so much. And we got such great pictures and I just love them so much.
Hi, my name is Dedida Nzenga. I'm a professional photographer based in Nairobi, Kenya. I do live in Nairobi and I've been a photographer for the past 3 years. In my 3 years, I've been able to do weddings, corporate events, documentaries, commercials, and even portraits. But the one I love most is portraits. I was inspired by our African skin. I do love, I had always have a passion to do a shoot that is related to melanin, and I decided why shouldn't I try out? So I started by researching, looking around what other guys have done, and see how I can do it better. It was successful. I really had an amazing time, even though I didn't feel like I had achieved what I wanted, but in the post-production I gained more ideas and it really came out the way I wanted, and I was so happy. And it gave me more, through that project it was dubbed Black is Golden. I was even able to have an award, the Adobe Awards last year, and even this opportunity to exhibit it at PICHA Talk Skin Exhibition. It's a really great opportunity and it has helped me a lot, and I'm really grateful for it, so thank you.
I grew up with a dad. My dad is a photojournalist. He was, yes. And, growing up I saw my childhood pictures you know. So I developed that love and appreciation for photos too, that seeing the changes I've been through and looking at how I am now, I see a lot of changes. I see a lot of processes that I've been through, the good, the bad, and the ugly. They're all part of who I am now, and I'm grateful for every single experience I've been through. So that's one of the things that inspires me. You know, the other thing that inspires me is also to see the value of photographs being actualized in Africa. You know, like where we are, people don't really value pictures that much. They just think about the product instead of the process it goes through. I really don't do that much manipulation to my pictures. I love black and white, you know, sepia, monochrome, all those things. I love to color grade a lot too. Enjoy the exhibition, and yeah, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. You can check out my Instagram page too, OBE Images. Hit me up and let's connect. Yeah, enjoy yourself.
My name is Mohammed Amin Abdul Rahman. I am a stock documentary and fashion photographer from Nairobi, Kenya. Photography plays an important role in my life, and it helps me understand human interaction. Being an African photographer, it is important for me to showcase African photography, and it is a fulfilling job. With regards to the images that I submitted for the exhibition, it's all about reimagining the dark skin in different elements and concepts, where I shot my model in front of a mountain of salt, and I liked how the two different elements and the two different colors of his skin tone and the white color of the salt were able to blend in and to give a very unique contrast to it.
Hi, my name is Kwesi Che. I currently live and work in Toronto. The nature of my work, if I'm to describe it, is graphical and usually always in black and white. I find inspiration in technology, in AI, in love from nature, in philosophy, usually Stoic philosophy, and in the concepts of space and time, or from the concepts of space and time. And for this exhibition, I selected umbilicus because I wanted to bring a direct focus onto the scar each of us bears, as a reminder of the juncture in time when we broke the connection to where we once were before we came into this realm. It was one of the 10 images I selected for my debut exhibition, which was held back in Accra in November 2017, titled Emmanuel, which explored the concept of God in man. I really hope you enjoyed the exhibition, and do share your thoughts. It's always interesting to get feedback on the work that I've done. So I'd like to take the opportunity to say thank you for the time and for allowing me into your space, Madam.